And it has been a very busy few weeks for the Prime Minister. First, Theresa May rushed across the pond to massage Trump's massive ego. Then she went on to sell fighter jets to Turkey, now under semi-dictatorship. She was the first world leader, in fact, to see both crackpot, Trump, and despot, post-coup Erdogan. Don't tell me this is just realpolitik, folks. I'm concerned, which is why I was demonstrating against Trump's travel ban on Monday. The signs are that Britain, or global Britain, as we now have to call ourselves, will not or cannot pursue an ethical foreign policy and make its own way in the world on its own out of the EU. Britain should be a force for good in the world and not a supplicant poodle.
What a melange of issues you have there, isn't it?
Are you accusing me of muddled thinking?
You've brought in Brexit, you've brought in Trump, you've brought in Turkey.
Well, they're all
connected. Yours is, as ever, the politics of the Sixth Form Debating Society. It would be impossible...
I'm hurt.
It would be... I'm limbering up, don't worry. It would be impossible for a country, absolutely impossible, to only trade in an ethical fashion. With whom are you going to do business? Tell me who you're going to do business with.
What I'm saying
No,
is...
tell me which countries you're happy to do... Because if you look at any country on the planet...
I'm not saying we've always sold arms to despotic regimes. That's on brand for us. But what I'm saying is, if we leave Europe...
Well, we are lit. You can take the F out.
We are.
Bad
OK,
luck.
as of yesterday, definitely. I'll give you that. That means that we have no frictionless trading bloc with the EU. We have to go out and tout for business wherever. Then the thing Theresa May does straight away is sell £100 million worth of fighter jets to a man who's basically creating a jail for journalists in Turkey. And I would have expected you...
That's wrong, I agree with that.
Not to support doing that.
But what I like is that's a lot of British people getting a lot of work with a big contract, and that is a good thing.
You could have said the same about apartheid South Africa, Nick. I mean, loads of job-creating opportunities.
No,
would that have been the right thing? Exactly, there's a line.
Wrong.
There's got to be a line. So you accept that there is a line that we shouldn't cross.
I bet you if this programme had been on the air at that time, you'd be here defending apartheid.
That's appalling. No, that's absolutely not true.
No, it's only... You adopt almost every right-wing position that there is to have. You'd have adopted that one.
No, I wouldn't.
It's good debate.
How do you know?
I'm suspecting.
Well, you're suspecting wrong, Detective.
The argument's the same. It's in Britain's interest, job creation, trading opportunities, historic relationship, Britain first.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Just do no trade at all?
But
I prefer not to do trade with dictators who are going to bomb the Kurds.
Point is a key one, because if what you're wanting, you only want to trade with good people that are doing good things, there's
I think Nick is
doing great things.
You and Nick are taking a single strand of what I said in order to avoid the really unpalatable truth, which is that as things stand, we are going to have... America's not interested in doing trade anyway. They've got a protectionist president. The EU may be interested in doing trade with us, but we were doing trade with the EU. So, yes, we're left per force with the rest of the world, most of whom
Why weren't you protesting about selling guns to Saudi? And aircraft to Saudi.
We didn't know that we were selling cluster bombs to Saudi.
I just feel leaving the EU and with Trump in the White House leaves us slightly with the worst of both worlds.
The thing is, if I can pick up on what Rachel said, I completely agree with you, Rachel.
Of course you do.
I think what's important about what Rachel's saying is not necessarily the ins and outs of specific deals, but the fact that we are redrawing our place in the geopolitical landscape, right? We're leaving the EU. We've got a new type of regime in America. It's back to the drawing board as to who we are, who we do deals with. That's what the referendum campaign was all about Britain maybe renewing its the strength of its ties with the Commonwealth, about not being so tied to Europe, right? So we're kind of back to the drawing board. So now if we're starting again, what are we going to create? What are our guiding principles? What are our morals? What are our ethics? If the first thing we do in that climate is go straight to Turkey and sell arms, it doesn't send a very promising message about how we're going to reinvent ourselves. This, taking the pro-Brexit stance, which, as you know, is not my personal one, the only silver lining is this is an opportunity. We can kind of start again.
I need to ask Michelle, do you think that it's good that we should be open for business, global Britain, at any price?
No, I think in an ideal world, I would love to be in an ideal world where people are not doing bad things, where the people that we trade with are decent people. I want that. Don't be mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm not banging the table and banging the drum for, people creating carnage and let's support that. That's not what I want. But what I think is you have to be realistic about the world in which we live. And you're saying about let's step back and reassess our position. Wonderful, but we also have to be honest about the world in which we live. People do bad things.
Yeah.
If we don't sell, I don't know, jets over there or whatever, somebody else will.
The Russians
You're
will.
not going to buy us taking this moral stand and say we won't trade with you.
And no, but hang on, your beloved EU
It is
has
depressing,
sent
but it's
billions
real.
of euros to Erdogan. Billions of euros.
Yes, in order
And
that
they're
he keeps
paving
the
way.
immigrants
yes,
in
to
Turkey.
create a
3
giant
billion.
refugee camp. That's
Yeah.
your beloved EU.
But
And they are
that's a
paving the way.
transaction.
Hang on. They are paving the way for Turkey to come into the European. They can't get them in quick enough. So
Greg,
that's all right, though,
please,
is it?
can you
That-
deal
that-
with
that-
Turkey? Can we
that's all
deal
right.
with Turkey?
That actually
Turkey
isn't
is not
that isn't
acceding
true,
to the
actually.
EU.
It's not true.
The only real supporters of trying to get Turkey into the EU were the British.
Yeah, David Cameron
Yes,
saying...
and David Cameron, before him, Tony Blair.
come
I
on,
mean,
Brit-
people were... which I think was quite a good idea because it stopped it becoming, as is happening in Turkey, if you go there, increasingly it's becoming a Muslim state, whereas it wasn't... That's not what their constitution says.
OK, so they can join the EU, but we can't sell them planes.
The point of
how
the
hell
EU,
how does this work? Did you get yourself off a Christmas cracker? Is that where you get your ideas?
You know,
I mean, it's just
Oh, you're on
Nick,
fire
you're wrong.
today,
You know,
Nick.
you're wrong. I'm not in some love affair with the EU.
You are.
You know, no, I'm
You
not.
are.
I just think Brexit is worse. The thing about the EU, right, is that it does create... It has principles, it has a Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, it has a court that adjudicates.
And it wants Turkey to join.
And if you join, you have to sign up. Now, we are busy in the process of leaving that, right? We're losing the protections from the freedoms from the European Court of Justice. We want to leave the Council of Europe and lose the protection of the European Convention on
How
Human
does
Rights.
that affect my
We're
view,
saying
these viewers of this show?
goodbye to our international
Viewers, thank you.
commitments to
Yeah.
respect human rights. Hello, dictators. What kind of message
Hello,
is that
dictators
sending?
of the European Union can't get up to Brussels quick enough.
I've
That's
just
not
opened my
true,
Christmas
Nick.
cracker, and what it says is, if we sell our fighter jets to Turkey, he might shoot down a Russian jet, and then what might happen, Nick?
Now that's like if I...
Which happened only last
Now,
year.
if I'm in the business of selling kitchen knives, it's my fault if some kid takes a knife and stabs it. That's ridiculous. You
But
can't
you're
do
not-
that.
you're
No,
not
but
gonna
what I'm
stop-
saying is, if you arm Erdogan with all these jets, we do not know what... It's like Trump. We do not know what they're going to do. These
But-
people are unstable.
Well, he's going to buy those products. He will
From
buy-
whoever?
Yeah. So this is what I can't get my head around. So I understand what you're saying, and I would love to live in the world in which you're suggesting, but just because we turn around and say we won't send you that jet, he's not going to go, oh, well, I'm going to turn into a really nice guy then.
No,
But Michelle,
that's a good
coming-
point.
coming back
Okay,
to
can we go
Well
back?
said.
This is my topic. It's about ethical foreign policy.
Oh,
When
it is, isn't it?
Theresa May went to Turkey, why didn't she see some of the opposition? Why didn't she talk about the fact that Erdogan had jailed 100 journalists and closed down 100 media outlets? I want to see us pursuing, OK, yes, we can sell. Let's keep British trade going. But I want to see us obviously having an ethical stance when it comes to bad men doing bad things. Is that too much
That's what
to
influence
ask?
is. I mean, you think we're so influential. That's what
And I
influence
think
is,
the
being able
point
to
of
change
trying
behaviour.
to persuade Turkey to come into the EU, which the Germans and the French were never going to agree and aren't going to agree. But the point of trying to get them in was actually you stopped the likes of Erdogan. Actually, you put them under the constraints of what is just quite a civilised
How would that
structure.
stop? How would their rival in the EU stop people such as Erdogan? I mean, they can't tell
They'll
them to
obey
change
the
their
rules of the
leader.
club. Obey the rules of the club.
Well, the application to join was pre-Erdogan. Erdogan, year by year by year by year, has become more and more powerful. This is not supposed to be a religious-based state, and is becoming that. And I remember going there the first time. I went to a dinner with Erdogan, and
Oh, no,
now
you're
the
really wrong.
truth.
It's a pretty big
You
dinner.
accuse me of being pro-apartheid. You're cozying up to President Erdogan.
No, it was a pretty big dinner.
Was Ceausescu there?
But Erdogan, it was quite clear the direction of travel he was starting on. And actually, the failed coup last year gave him just the excuse he wanted. And you do feel that actually, if it had been in the EU, there would have been constraints upon that, on what he's doing. He would have come under much greater pressure than I think he is now.